In this video, we're going to upgrade Soothsayer 1.9 to 1.11, the latest release. On the box, we have Ubuntu as the operating system and Docker as the container system. And you can see a folder there for 1.9 and a compressed folder for 1.11. So let's go and decompress that folder first of all. So I just ran tar and then extracting a compressed archive, and this is unpacking the pre-built images as well as lots of reference data. You can see we're shipping some tiles now, so you can test it offline. So now we have a folder called Soothsayer Docker, and if I run docker container ps, I can see the old release is running there in the background. So the new release has been refactored. It only has 4 containers, so there's quite an improvement on this. What we need to do before we go any further is make sure the environment is ready and make sure that we are using a current version of Docker. The reason being the new release is using some new Docker GPU container parameters which are not supported in old versions of Docker, such as 25. So you need to run something like docker-v to get your version. We recommend at least version 28. So I'm running 29 here. If you get it from the Ubuntu repositories, likelihood is it's already out of date. Go and follow the install guide on docker.com to get the latest release. We also need to make sure we've got a GPU, and the utility for interfacing with that is the nvidia-smi. And this shows us that we have got a GPU. This is actually a VM here with GPU pass-through, but either way, nvidia-smi will show you the version number and the driver version and the CUDA version. Make sure these two match, because if they don't, you can be in a bad state. You can get a mismatch when there's an automatic update on the host, and you can find that you can't use your GPU, in which case a reboot is required. So just one to be aware of is make sure those numbers match. There's no GPU engine running at the moment because that release that's on here isn't actually licensed, so that's expected behavior that the engine would not be running. The next test to do is the container toolkit. So nvidia-ctk is the container toolkit, and the parameters we want to pass in are the CDI and then list. And so what this does is it lists the NVIDIA devices that have been generated, and the way to generate those devices is using the generate command, which is described here. Now our scripts actually take care of this. If you've run the script already, it will have run the generate. If you don't get this output, GPU equals all, then you're not going to have any joy with using the new release. So make sure you've at least got this output before you go any further. Let's go into the Soothsayer Docker folder now and run the update. So scripts, update.sh is the script. This has been updated, and as you can see, it tests the environment. It finds your current release, it finds your target release and your container engine, and then it prompts you how would you like to proceed. Copy is the safe mode, in which case it can fail back to the old release. So we'll do copy. Do you want to update? This is just confirmation. Yes. First of all, we're stopping the containers. So we need to bring down all those old containers, and then we need to copy over the images for the new images and then spin up the new containers. Next, you're seeing database being moved across and database migration. So these are SQL files which need to be run to update the database. It's running the migrations, and then there's some warnings here that the authentication has been updated. You will need to reset your admin password. So these are all database migrations that are going on here, and we're loading a big image for the new Postgres database, which has been updated. We had permission issues. We could not delete these files here. These files are generated by Docker, and so they're set with permissions from inside the container, and that's why myself as a user cannot delete those files. It said another attempt will be made with root privileges. and those files live within the data folder. So data license, another folder with special permissions is the data/database, which has Postgres permissions from the Postgres container. Okay, new containers here. I'm bringing them up. So we have the network, and we have 4 containers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now it's looking okay. We're into the migration script, which you would do as part of an install. It's going to make changes. It connects to the database. That's a good sign, because it was able to use the database credentials and do its thing and chuck in lots of data, in this case trees. That's the biggest table now. So all the trees will all go in. And then it should be done, because we've done the images. Now we're doing the database, and then the final step will be to take the containers down, and we're done. So the containers are down. It's warned us that there's some action that we need to take, and the authentication has been updated, so we need to run the reset script before we can go any further. So I'm going to go and do that, and do reset admin password, and it says the containers are not running. So as you can see there, I didn't follow my own instructions. I'm going to run the start script and start the containers, and the first test is the GPU. GPU is happy, so if it wasn't happy, it would warn you, it would throw up some errors. We know we're not licensed, and that started up very quickly. If there's a delay here because it's hanging, that's because it's waiting for the web server to come up, and it's trying to access the web interface, but it can access that. So we know that if we were to click that UI, we'd be able to get to the admin dashboard after we've reset the password. So I'm just going to go and put in a new password, and now I can get into the admin UI here, and my new SOOTHSAYER instance is running with a reduced number of images now.